Pretty bold title, eh? Well, I have three reasons why I truly believe this format is the best for the free-to-play, and let's start off with the first one. Let's start off with the map. The starting zone is pretty much the same. You have your Crusader Fortress, Crusader Camps, Bastions, and the Ruins. Pretty standard. The next zone has 3 legendary bastions and 2 herons. Obviously, depending on your diplomacy and the position on the map, you can have your fights here. But in our case, that didn't happen. And also, what's in this zone is the Altar of Darkness, so you can also potentially have fighting over it. Moving on, we have the next zone, which also has 3 more legendary bastions and 3 circles. And this is where it gets interesting. Usually, we have the Pass 7 before Kingsland, but in this format we have Kingsland first and Pass 7 after. Now Pass 7 is usually the place where people mostly get their deads. People defend the pass, rally. We've all seen those long rallies on the passes, but in this case this is not what happens. And in my opinion it's better because people have more troops to fight in Kingsland, and it's more fun when you have troops to play with, and I think it's a good change. And the rest is pretty much the same. Let's go on to the second reason why I think this KvK is the best for the free-to-play are the actual rewards. Because compared to other formats, what I've seen, like I'm comparing things to Heroic Anthem because I have the most experience in that mode. And the endgame rewards take way less requirements because you'll see like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and I believe 6 million is the highest needed to get the rewards, which is like anyone can do it. And also what's interesting is the only rewards are regarding the herons and circles and the endgame zig, or in this case Orleans. No Crusader camps, no Crusader fortresses, and it's honestly such a good way to negate all those extra diplomacy talks, and the invasion can be really tricky sometimes when people like block with forts. But in this format there is absolutely zero of that. I'm really glad they actually made this change. It made it way easier for everyone, I believe. Rewards are generally easier to get, which is awesome. At last, we are at our third and final point on why I think Siege of Orleans is the best KvK for the free-to-play are of course the auxiliary skills. What you see on the screen is a sheet made by my friends and myself, which include all of the skills from all of the commanders that can be used as an auxiliary. The metrics are as follows. Green is absolutely use it, blue is use it, purple is like use it, but you know there are better options, and red is don't use it. Now the reason why auxiliary skills are so good is just the amount of stats you get, and you don't have to rely on the crystal technology because crystal technology only gives out incremental troop attack and troop capacity and all damage when you reach improved morale, which is pretty far. But with auxiliary skills you can get a lot of good stats, which include defense, health, troop capacity, and unique such as all damage when under 50%, 25% normal attack. And this is just from the epics. And if you're coming out in the first season of Conquest, or if you're like a younger player, you can still have a good time with the epics and even the elite with Tamo. Like her third skill is like a free Horn of Fury, and I use it myself and I would recommend it. And like I said, if you're a younger player who don't have any access to many commanders, then don't worry about it. Like epics have a lot of good stats, troop capacity, all damage, and even the younger commanders like Tutmos is a brilliant example of everything you need, like march speed, all damage, things like that. Then we'll see someone like, if you worked on Edward for some example, his second skill is pretty good. Tamari's fourth skill, obviously great. Alexander the Great, all of his skills are relevant. Khan as well. Mehmed, El Cid, Martel, especially Martel with his second skill, it's amazing. then you get the point. All these earlier commanders that are before Season of Conquest are actually very much usable once you pair them up as an auxiliary. Now this sheet will be made available in our Discord and probably a couple days after the video goes live. So if you want access to this, then please join our Discord. And if you liked the video and like what you saw, subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. I still have lots of Siege of Orleans videos to make, so stay tuned.